It's time for Let's Talk Racing again. We have Waltz in here with us tonight. We have Colin Brown, Al Pearce, and Scott Brown back hiding in the corner. And of course, this is Roger Brehm. Getting ready to have a little fun with everybody tonight. We also are going to have Joey Gase on the show later on, talking about his charity that he's working with down in Charlotte. And Patrick Staropoli, he is going to be running K&N, and he also has a cancer charity as well. Everybody's getting into these cancer charities. When's your turn, Matt?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd probably rather do something more unique, you know, instead of what everybody else is doing.
So, we got you on tonight. You're going to get a little extra time since you're here. Give us a little bit of something about how you got into racing and what you got going on here.
We really started racing back in 1999, you know, go-karts and Hampton Roads Kart Club here at Langley Speedway right around the corner from us. And then raced 99 there. The next 2 years I raced some mini cups there, the little rigid chassis cars. Raced those 2 seasons at Langley before we kind of went around the state and North Carolina with the Virginia Mini Cup Racing Association. And from there we came back to Langley Speedway here in the Grand Stocks for 2 years, and then from then moved on to the late model and really ran the late model for 2 seasons at Langley full time before we kind of moved around to some different racetracks, South Boston, Motor Mile Speedway, raced Southern National, and we've run at RIR with the late model, and kind of did it all really while I was going to school at ODU. I'm a 2013 ODU mechanical engineering graduate, and you know, really the engineering's really been a big part of my racing and my success too as well, because I've used that a lot, and my knowledge that I learned there to really be able to propel me into victory lane, basically, with me pretty much crew chiefing the thing and running it, or running the you're working on the car and doing all the setup and all that during the week as well. So you know.
So I've already seen where they were talking about you're like the winningest late model driver.
Yeah,
last year or
yeah, in 2014 Langley Speedway, and we won, you know, 12 out of 22 of them, over 50%.
That's pretty good.
Yep.
Now, what have you got going this week?
I'll be making my Xfinity Series debut at RIR with Derek Cope Racing, and you know, really appreciate the opportunity they're giving me there. It's going to be a good deal, and I'm looking forward to it. And we've got Acredale Vending on board. Scott Abshire has been a big help to me, and getting me some good exposure, and really appreciate that and all they do. You know, they've been in the sport, as you know, for a long time now, about 20 years, and been in business here in the Tidewater area for 32 years, and also Randall Automotive, and they're out of Fredericksburg in the DC area, and you know, Body Shop in Stafford, Virginia, and they're also coming on board as a co-associate sponsor this weekend. So really got to thank them and Derek Cope and Alicia Cope and all them at Derek Cope Racing for really helping put this whole deal together for me, and looking forward to having a good weekend.
Good deal.
Have you met the Cope nieces yet?
Oh yeah, Amber.
No, I haven't.
You've heard about them?
Amber and Angela?
Yeah, I know they used to race some, I guess, in the Xfinity
I ain't
Series.
talking about racing. I'm talking about, have you seen the Cope nieces?
I haven't seen them in a while.
If you got them somewhere on the screens?
Oh gosh, yeah, let me pull them up.
I'm just curious, you know, I'm just trying to. That's why I asked at Trey Hutchins last weekend whether having a race car in high school was a chick magnet. You know, I'm just curious about these things. Ah.
Is that good enough for you?
Which one do you want to be your tire changer?
Anyway, somebody asked online if did you start running karts first?
Yeah. First thing I ever raced was go-karts, 1999. So, and I mean, we had a play go-kart. Me and my older brother Kyle used to run around the yard, you know, when we were younger, and actually had a field down the street, and you know, really started in that and figured out they raced go-kart, so then we started doing that.
In case you're wondering, I also have Periscope going here as well. I don't know if you've played with that yet. So they're watching on the Periscope, so sometimes there'll be questions that'll pop up here.
Okay.
You know, you can take that down now so we don't want to come.
It's going to keep you all distracted. Is that bothering you guys?
I
don't think this is fun bothering us.
I'm a bit distracted here. Not really good. I'm not really able to pay attention.
That's not bothering me at all.
But you don't think about racing, though. Just the pit
crew. You didn't see the car in the picture?
You're just thinking about the pit crew.
I didn't even see the car. You see, her jeans are torn.
Yeah,
I bet she bought them that way.
I bet she did.
And the other ones look like they were just a little too small.
I'm not sure about that.
Oh, God.
I can't believe you didn't make that part of your contract. Elsewhere, is that part of your overall long-range plan that if you stay at one track and get really good at one place, it's not going to help you a whole lot?
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to go places where you've got to be better because it's all new and different to you, and at some point in time, all that will help you. That's your thinking?
Exactly. I mean, that was the whole point. And you know, I could have probably gone back to Langley. I'm not going to say we'd have won. You know, who knows? I mean, I don't know how many more races I'd have won this year if we just only stayed there. But I mean, I can't just do that, and it wouldn't fit in well with what I'm trying to do to be able to move up into the Xfinity Series. So I figured, and we all kind of figured it'd be better for us to try and move around and go to different racetracks, and it kind of make not only me better as a driver, but make us all better as a team. You know, when we're going to different places and need to learn. You know, new things. You know, you can only do so much when you sit there at one racetrack, you know, week after week, and I mean, you know, that's not really what I want to do. So,
what has been the most difficult other track you've gone to?
I've struggled a little bit more at Southern National, but I've never taken my best car there. You know, it's always been racing for somebody else, or somebody asked me to go drive a car, and then I go there, and you know, and usually it ends up being that the car is not prepared as well as I would prepare it, or it's not as, you know, they don't have as good of a race car. So on one hand, you know, I say that, but on the other hand, it's like, well, I can't really, you know, give it a true shot until I put my best effort forth and go down there and actually go try to race for a win with my stuff, you know. And I've actually went down and ran a race there earlier in the year for it was actually for Ronald Renfro, and I was been helping him some on his race car, something I kind of do on the side, and you know, I helped him quite a bit, and we ended up going down there, and he had given a kidney to somebody, you know, which was of course really nice of him, and you know, risking his life doing that. And he was in a little pain, so he ended up having me drive, and he almost won the first race, but guy took him out on the last corner of the last lap, you know, lead and come to the checkers, and that would have been his first win. And then
What Kyle Larson was it?
No.
Because he's done that to people before.
Yeah, I'm sure you know about that.
You got a question out there. What's your favorite track?
Favorite, I would have to say, you know, Langley Speedway is my own track, you know, and they treat me really well there, and I really like all the people, Bill and Chuck and Shane and everybody involved with Langley Speedway. So, I mean, of course I have to go with that, but other than that, you know, I just I haven't really found another one that's a really better facility or better treatment to the racers. So I would definitely say Langley Speedway. And you know, other than that, they're all a little bit equals.
Yeah.
You know, some are worse than others, unfortunately. But you know,
somebody wanted to know if you had shirts already yet too.
I don't. It's something I'm trying to get working on, trying to find time to work on, and also it's been kind of a struggle just because, you know, I've been driving so many different cars here lately, you know, between my car and then Randy Sears' 34 car and now the Xfinity car. So I think what I'm probably going to do is just kind of get a general t-shirt or something made up that's pretty cool, you know, and not really too number specific, but maybe have, or maybe
Just
put a
Waltz
couple of
racing or
cars
something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And that way, you know, we could do something like that.
I also want to know how do you feel that a spotter is important for you?
Yeah, definitely. You know, I don't know what some people do, but I always run a spot or a small mirror in my left side window. Just that way, I can always be able to check. I know some guys don't, but you know, without doing that, I mean, it's, you know, sometimes, or you really, but I guess having that really lets me have confidence that if I lose my spotter, if we lose radio control, that, you know, I have something to rely on. But a spotter is always really important, and especially leading races, you know, when you get out in front. And, you know, it's important to have a spotter to sit there and tell you, okay, you know, how far you're getting ahead, and, you know, just making sure you're not getting too far ahead and wearing your stuff out. That way, if you get a late race caution, you still got enough where you can fight for the win.
Cool.
Occasionally, every now and then, and this applies to you too, occasionally you hear a driver say very quietly after a race was over, you know, spotter really got me in a bind. Spotter drove me into a hole, and most of the people say, well, hey, you're driving a race car.
Yeah.
Where, for both of you guys, where does the responsibility end and pick up? I mean, if he gives you bad advice and you take it, not knowing what's going to happen, do you yell at him? Do you have a big blowout? Or does he say, well, it looked good when I told you and you were too slow getting in the hole? I mean, how does that work? Who's responsible?
I guess it just kind of depends on the situation, you know. If it's a situation where, you know, if it's a situation where somebody's on the inside and they don't call inside or something like that, you know, then it would be the spotter's fault, you know, I guess. But that's another reason why I like my little spot mirror.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, you know, it just kind of depends, you know. Each situation's different, and you really got to look at each one individually. So, you know, sometimes it's hard to be able to tell, and, you know, like if you're 3 wide, you know, if you're 3 wide, then, you know, it's not always a spotter's fault, or, you know, maybe somebody else should have had a little more give and take, and you know, so.
Who's the spot for you Friday night?
They have a spotter that they typically use, or Derek uses,
okay.
So they're going to use him. And I have my younger brother Daniel, who typically spots for me, coming, and you know, basically just to listen on and really hear the kind of information that their spotter gives them during it, and to really be able to just kind of see and be more aware of what he would need to do if he was the one spotting. So.
Who spots for you?
I don't have a spotter. I don't run with one. We don't.
Oh, you're not allowed to
They use
have
race
one?
receiver.
Not versions. I don't even run with a receiver. I just go.
Oh,
I just go with nothing. I just go by what
That's
I hear.
only
I
'cause
just
they
go
don't-
by what I hear.
It's random as far as what tracks you go to, if
Yeah.
anybody's even on
Okay.
Yeah, so it's just random.
giving them any information at all. So
You got a girlfriend? Because there was a couple of girls asking for your phone number already.
Were they the 2 girls on the screen there?
I don't think they didn't have a code name attached to
If they
it.
were, I've got a
nieces
number.
have called.
Here, I got a number, Amy.
actually, they were looking for your phone number, Al. I think it was.
Give them my number. No,
Hey, you can follow me on social media here on here.
I'm not sure my wife would go for that.
Just a wee bit, you think, huh?
28 years together would probably end it right there.
28 years.
Next Friday. Saturday.
All right.
Next Saturday.
I got you beat by 2 years.
So you're gonna spend your
If you want to look at it that way.
your anniversary in Richmond, huh?
No, a week from.
Oh, a week from.
19th. No race weekend. Yeah.
So you're actually gonna stick around for that one?
Yeah, I'll be in town, in fact.
Huh. Not going downtown that weekend?
If
Do
he,
what?
if he still wants to have a marriage.
No. So when are you racing again?
Well, we had a little rough weekend up at Shenandoah this past weekend. We got wrecked out in first practice and couldn't really do anything after the rest of the weekend after that. So we're just waiting. We're going to try to run the last few races up at Shenandoah Speedway coming up in October.
Okay.
So they're off now for the next couple of weeks, for next week, this coming weekend and the next weekend, and they're going to do a 3-week straight span. So we're going to try to run the last few races coming up in October. So
When you guys watch a race on TV, like you probably did Sunday night,
mm-hmm.
do you ever watch a race and think, why didn't he do this, or why didn't he do that, or, you know, if I was in that car, I'd be doing something different. I mean, do you ever second guess what these guys are doing, or do you figure, yeah, they probably know what they're doing? Yeah, what about it?
You know, sometimes you look at it and, you know, say maybe he should have done this or he should be doing this, but, you know, everybody's different. Everybody's got their own style, really, and, you know, hindsight's 20/20. You can always say, well, man, if he'd have gone there, or, you know, but, you know, I usually don't critique them too hard, you know, unless it's the ones that typically always making the bonehead moves. Then you're like, well, he obviously shouldn't have done that. He obviously should have
for several generations, and so they can relate to exactly how bad I want to do this, and they support me in whatever pursuit I end up going after. And I think that's great that anyone who wants to go after anything has a family that supports them and wants to see them succeed and be happy. And it can get hectic trying to do both, but as long as my heart's in it, they're behind me. That's a really cool feeling.
But is it possible to do both? Could you be a
that's a separate question.
yeah? Could you be a resident somewhere and have a full-time ride somewhere?
Physically, no, that would not be possible. So
Okay.
It's definitely about figuring out the order in which you're going to do those things. And like right now, where we get these kind of sporadic one-off opportunities, like these two races, I was able to shift my schedule around and obviously get up here. But if something full-time came up, and then once I graduate and you're doing residency and that's full-time, no, probably wouldn't be possible. And up until I get to that point, though, and I'm at that fork in the road, I'm going to do everything I can to keep myself in a race car.
Okay.
So,
Well, I've got a little bit of a bad shoulder, and I'll come see you at Richmond tomorrow. Maybe you can fix it up for me.
That's fine. I heard the media center doubles as an urgent clinic, so we could just convert it over to that and we'll be good to go.
That's where I'll be sitting all weekend. Okay.
so hey Patrick, how often have you had a chance to run your late model this summer, and what type of support do you have with that effect, such as previous race teams?
Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't been able to run the late model as much as I wanted to. We already talked about those board exams I had in the beginning of June, so that sucked up all my time before then. And since I've been trying to race, we went 3 times in a row and got rained out, which pretty much Florida weather is what you've come to expect in the summer. But we did get to run this past weekend over in St. Pete at Showtime Speedway, and it's my first time in my car in probably over a year now. And we sat on the pole for the race after the invert had to come through and pass a few cars and ended up finishing second. So I was real happy with how it went, considering the lack of seat time.
Got a question for you, Patrick. They want to know what your favorite track and what your favorite hobby is.
Wait, what was the second question?
Favorite hobby?
Oh, favorite hobby? Probably racing for that one, for sure. It's a hobby, passion, career, whatever kind of category it can fit into. Favorite track would be a toss-up either between Atlanta or Martinsville. And I haven't raced on either one of them, but I know that if I ever get the chance, it'd probably be my favorite. I like how Atlanta, even though it's a mile and a half and it's the shape of those other cookie-cutter tracks, it's so wore out, and you either run right around the bottom or you rim right around the top. And the guys really have to hustle the cars there, and you can kind of see the driver come through on that kind of track. And Martinsville, I'd say, is the same thing except for a short track, and it's kind of laid out the way Hialeah Speedway used to be down in Florida, which was the track that I grew up on, flat third-mile track. And it's the one that's kind of closest to my roots, and so I think that those two are my favorite.
Cool.
So, preparing to run Richmond tomorrow, what do you know about the track? Have you been there before, and what have you done to prepare for this race?
Never been to Richmond before until today. We unloaded the cars, went through tech, and once we finished all that up, I made one lap around the track, just walking around, which surprisingly took longer than I thought it would. But it's a really cool track. I love the way it's laid out. Obviously played a ton of video games growing up, trying to learn about as many of these tracks as possible. But it's an entirely different animal when you get out there for real. Been doing the iRacing a lot the last couple weeks, which I think helps a lot from a visual standpoint. I mean, you don't get the same feel that you do when you're in the car, obviously, and trying to adjust it and everything like that. It's not completely realistic, but as far as getting your braking points and learning what the track looks like and where certain dips are, it helps a lot. So I've definitely been on the iRacing. I've watched a lot of the old K&N YouTube videos. The Xfinity series is great. They put a lot of the onboard cameras from their cars for like the full-length race online, so I like to go watch those too. So yeah, doing everything I can to be as prepared as possible tomorrow.
Matt, you could probably give him some first-hand knowledge because you've ran the Denny Hamlin race out there.
What's that, on the
Richmond's track?
The way the track is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little different, which I haven't even run the Xfinity car yet, but it's definitely different as far as, how it is in the late model. Late model stuff, we're so much, well, with the NASCAR style late model, we're way under horsepower compared to the Xfinity cars, so you know, it's definitely different there, but I mean, it's you know, I remember when I ran the before I ran the late model race, I kind of did the same thing as he was talking about, running the or running iRacing and you know, kind of seeing what the difference was in between Richmond and some of the other tracks I raced at. So definitely a good thought process there as far as doing that in preparation for this weekend.
Cool. Go ahead, Patrick.
Oh, I was gonna say, it seems like a lot of the drivers I talk to, they say the biggest thing you fight here is you're so tempted to keep piling biting to the car because you're always loose off of 2 or loose off of 4, and you do that, you get the car comfortable, and then you end up being tight in the middle, like 10 or 15 laps into a run. So you kind of got to balance, you know, how much you want to tighten the car up versus you still need to end up rolling the center because then you'll just get tight middle and snap loose off. So, I mean, that's from what I'm hearing. Maybe since you run there, you can shed some more insight on it.
No, not a whole lot. You know, I hadn't really talked to too many people as far as how the car usually goes during a race. You know, so I'm not too sure there.
It's all good. We'll find out tomorrow for sure, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Patrick, I want to ask another medical question if I can. No. This is a serious
Go for
question.
it.
Serious question. Because I know doctors, I know people, and you know, if you had an opportunity, say when you finish at Miami, and you got your doctor's, you're an MD, and you get an invitation to go somewhere and study under the world's best specialist at something. I don't even know if Dr. DeBakey's still alive in South Africa. I don't know where the first heart transplant was, whatever. But if you had an opportunity to go and spend 2 or 2.5 years studying under some brilliant doctor, or you had an opportunity to get a full-time cup ride for the same 2-year period, I'm serious. I'm just wondering how torn you would be between doctoring and driving. Because I find it fascinating that you've gotten as far as you have in medical school, and you've kept the passion for both things. And I just wonder what's going to happen when it's time to fish or cut bait, as we say up here.
Well, I guess the only other thing I throw in your scenario, and that's a loaded question, what it would have to be with a competitive cup team. You know, one that you would be able to go out there and run up front with, and I think we know all the big teams that are able to do that. But man, I would go racing. That's pretty easy answer for me to come to. It's obviously an opportunity like that's incredible, but I think just practicing medicine and then seeing a lot of my classmates who come into med school at all different ages and have all different reasons for being there, you know, it's something you can do at any age and in any location, and obviously it would be great to be with a specialist like that, and I don't think I'll ever have to make that kind of crazy decision at the same time. But, you know, the opportunity to, like you said, full-time cup ride with one of the best teams, that comes around once in a lifetime, and to practice medicine is an awesome thing to do as well, but it's also an ever-changing skill. It's something that gets cooler as the years go on and the medicine gets more advanced, and so that's something that I think, you know, at any point in time you could continue, or you can do a little bit of it, leave and come back, and a lot of doctors, you know, actually do that. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Okay.
All right, hey Patrick, it's Colin again. Got one last question. What are your plans for 2016 as far as racing goes, and can you put your full effort into racing and find sponsors while not losing sight of your medical career?
The full effort is the clincher on that one. It's definitely hard to split the time. You know, last year when I was working at NWR in the marketing department, I was full force, you know, trying to find a sponsor, trying to put a deal together. You know, we had one that came very close, and that all kind of fell apart at the last second. But that's a long story for another day. You know, looking at 2016, right now there's no plans on the table. I have my late model that I love running on weekends. I love going with my family and friends to do that. And obviously, I'm hoping and praying that these next 2 K&N races go very well, and that will turn into something that's more of a long-term thing. So. You know, right now everything's up in the air, no solid plans. But if I can be in a race car that has 4 wheels and a steering wheel, you know, I'll be wheeling it.
Okay.
Well, Patrick, let's go ahead and let you get going back to the stuff you got to finish up with today, and I'm sure I'll run into you sometime this weekend.
Yeah, definitely. Swing on by. You know, it's a bright pink car. None of you guys are going to miss it on track. So thanks again for having me on, and thank you to the Auto Nation as well as the Cure Bowl for letting me represent such an awesome cause.
Cool.
Good luck this weekend, Patrick.
Good luck, and we'll catch you later then.
See you, man.
All right, cool. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good night.
Okay. Ed Colton said to tell you you're still looking good.
Who?
Ed Colton. Big fat Ed.
Oh, okay.
He's sitting here watching and looking at you.
That guy's pretty smart. He can go through medical school in Miami and race and, you know.
Well, he already graduated from,
Harvard.
yeah, from Harvard.
Yeah, but he's still, I mean, yeah, but med school's a different animal altogether.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I bet he's met the Koch nieces. I bet he's met them. Matt, you better get out there, boy. That's doctor.
He's going to be checking.
Dr.
Let me give
McGrady.
you all a physical. Is that what you're going to say next hour?
Dr. McGreen will take those two girls right away from you.
No, we're actually back to your second turn for the day.
What's that?
It's your turn again. You get to do a little more
Okay, cool.
kibitzing here. we actually threw you were the racing news for tonight, so now you actually have your interview time now.
I got you.
Well, how did all this come about? How did Derek contact you, or was it an intermediary, or?
We kind of stayed in contact. I had a guy helping me kind of, meet and greet people, and really went to Richmond in the spring and, really did that. Met some people, Derek and them being one of them, and tried to stay in contact with as many people as I could. And then, kind of opportunity came up to where, I was able to, I worked with them some, and I actually hauled his car to Iowa for him when he was in a bind and kind of helped them out. And, which was, it was good. I mean, it was reassuring that, he was able to trust us with his car and his stuff. And, I think that gave him a little confidence in letting me do it. So that was definitely good, and we made a deal at the time that he'd let me run Richmond for doing that. So
That's
that's
cool.
kind of how it all came about, and definitely looking to get some more sponsorship where we can do some more racing and just kind of see what we can do. They've been really helpful, and definitely appreciate the opportunity they've given me.
Somebody wanted to know. Oh crap. If you knew Bobby Hall out at Langley.
Name sounds familiar. Was it on Pro 6 or? I
think he runs modifieds.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I don't know him personally.
I remember when I was out at the racetrack last weekend doing Periscope during the modified race, the Southern Modifieds, and then somebody was saying, about Bobby Hall. And I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not too sure. I don't really know.
Pro 6.
Okay, yeah, it was a Pro 6 then. Yeah, I mean, I've seen him race a little bit. I've never really met him personally though.
Yeah, this guy he's Moss 2009, and I have no clue where he's from, but apparently he knows Bobby Hall at Langley.
Okay, yeah.
Now he knows Matt Waltz at Langley.
Yeah, yep.
What will be your schedule tomorrow? Do you get in the car tomorrow, or just practice tomorrow?
Yep, we have a first practice at 2:30, and then I'm not exactly sure when final practice is. I think it's about 5 o'clock. It's somewhere right around then. I know first one's about an hour and a half. Second one's about 50 minutes or an hour or something like that.
Did you qualify Friday?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. And I think not until like 2:30 or something on Friday. Really. I mean, it's kind of late, kind of surprising. And I know we got our gates open Friday at 9:30, and I don't think we have anything scheduled really until like 2 or 1:30 or there it is.
So Sprint Cup opens at 8:30 on Friday at the garage. You guys open at 9:30. Let's see. Autograph session at 2 o'clock. Qualifying inspection qualifying starts at 3:45.
Oh, okay.
And 5:30 is your driver crew chief meeting. 7 o'clock for driver introduction, and 7:30 you do your stuff.
Yeah, I think I know I have a rookie meeting or something in there somewhere. Maybe that might be Thursday before we even start practice.
Yeah, 1:30 on Thursday. You have a rookie
Yeah.
meeting.
I'll get there probably 10:45 or so when registration opens. You know, I don't ever like being I don't like being late. We're always usually the first one to walk in the door at the late model stuff too. So you know, you gotta be there and get prepared and be ready to do your job. You know.
Who do you look up to in racing?
I mean, I don't know. That's always been a pretty hard question to answer for me. You know, I mean, I guess I couldn't say it's really one person. You know, it's really all the guys that didn't get there because their dad stroked a big paycheck. You know, and those are the guys that are the most, you know, the most like appealing as far as what they've been able to do. You know, when you go there and your dad writes a big paycheck and you know you go race, you know, you really hadn't earned anything. You know, you just kind of got there because it was handed to you. And you know, the people that really had to work hard and be able to prove themselves and earn the trust of people to put them in a race car. You know, those are the group of people that I look up to.
Do you miss racing against your brother Kyle?
I mean, it was always better, I guess. It's kind of like a double-edged sword there, you know. It was always good having another car there at the racetrack where we could do different things, but then at the same time it was always, you know, because we're so pushed for people, you know, it was always so hard to do that.
Right.
So, I mean, since we built this other car and I've been racing it and going as a one-car team, you know, we've definitely been a whole lot more successful than we were ever able to, putting half effort into two teams. Now we've been putting one effort into one team, you know, and it's definitely been able to, you know, show that's a much better effort for us as a team.
Now, say for instance, all of a sudden you do really well in the race, and somebody comes knocking at the door, "Hey Matt, we want you to race for our team." You gonna let your brother step in your spot if you're not gonna be running at Langley?
Oh, the late model?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you know, the car's got to be maintained, and I'm usually the one doing that. So that's, you know, that's not really an easy question. You know, even the late model racing takes so much to do.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so I mean, we still do have this car, and it's the one, you know, I raced in the Hammond race, and that thing's still sitting there. So yeah, it just kind of depends. You know, if you know we're able to work on the thing and be able to do that, if something, you know. Then yeah,
well, I mean, I would think it'd be
work
neat.
on,
You're up here running in the Xfinity, and he's able to get back into playing late models and get both of you back out there on the tracks again.
Yeah, you know, I'm sure he still wants to run. You know, I know he probably does, but I you know, I guess so.
Are you from here originally? Were you local?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
really?
yeah.
Where'd you go to high school?
Benchville.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Hey, you probably didn't live too far from where I live.
Yeah.
You live over in front of Anderson's?
No, that's just where our shop is.
Okay, I knew that's where. Okay, yeah, okay. I knew there was a relationship to that house there with the garage in the back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's our shop there. You know.
Well, you went to Munchville.
Yeah.
When did you graduate?
08.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I went to BC Charles Elementary School. You know, right there in that area.
Okay. 'Cause my daughter went to Warwick and graduated in 07.
Oh, okay.
And she went to Longwood and she went to Radford.
Gotcha.
So, okay, so you're local. I don't know why you were local. I didn't know that.
Yep.
So,
What's all the more reason to pull for him?
Yeah.
Hometown boy, and might as well call Richmond his home track since it's.
Listen,
Yeah.
after going through 4 years at Mitchell, with its basketball and football and baseball's good. You need some good things in your life, don't you? Football's not very good over there.
No, basketball was good.
Was
when I was
okay.
there, yeah.
And baseball
I think
was
they were
great.
pretty good.
Baseball was good.
Yeah, I think we were good at basketball. I don't remember.
Yeah.
You know, I don't. You know,
Phil Forbes,
surprisingly-
coach was. I know the guy's name.
Yeah, he's my neighbor, Phil Forbes. Yeah, and then
No, Phil Forbes was the girls' coach.
yep,
Anyway,
the younger one.
okay.
He sponsors my late model. They're my neighbors.
Well, they're right. Okay, there you go.
Roll on. Are you trying to get a question in there edgewise?
So, what do you feel to expect? What do you expect to feel comfortable with at the track, and what are some of the unknowns that you'll have to deal with as you go?
You're talking about Richmond?
Yeah, for Richmond race.
Do you repeat that again? What's that?
What do you expect to feel comfortable with, and at the track, and what are some of the unknowns that you'll have to deal with?
Well, I've been on the track before, so it's not, track hasn't changed since then. So obviously, I know the line and all, and kind of where I need to be. And I plan on still watching some other guys, and hopefully I can get in behind somebody and follow them a little bit. That way, just I've never been in that car or on the track, and so that's the first. That's the first thing. I feel like I should be able to be comfortable pretty much right off the bat. The other is, I've never done a lot of pit stop before, so that's definitely one of the things. But I've gone over it a lot with Derek. Monday I was down in Charlotte, and we talked a lot about how that would go and kind of some of the things I need to look for as far as the other cars and everybody I just need to be aware of, and some of the things I need to be aware of in the car and coming down for pit stops. So that's the only really big unknown I have. Other than that, it's just making sure we get out there and keep the nose clean, keep the fenders on it, and of course, and
Come
make
back
sure
in
we.
one piece.
What's that?
Come back in one piece.
Yeah, and have a good show, and show the guys at NASCAR that they can hopefully be able to, ease the approval process for me, because that's really what you really got to work on, especially somebody in my shoes.
Oh yeah.
I've got to race this racetrack to where I can be approved for the next style of racetracks or the next size, and then so on and so forth. Up until the super speedways.
One of the people online wanted to know: will you allow fans to help sponsor you? And how to contact you to do that?
I guess so. I thought about making like a what is it, a GoFundMe or something like that account.
Yep. In fact, Joey Gase is going to be talking about his next.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I haven't got anything like that going, but it's kind of I've never done it before, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Other than that, I'm not too sure. I haven't actually done it, so I don't really know what to say on that one too much.
Cool. Okay, we're going to shift over to Joey. Hey, Joey, how you doing tonight?
Good. How about yourself?
Pretty good. You going to be racing at Richmond this weekend, right?
That's right. We'll be racing an Xfinity Series race this weekend.
All right, we got a brand new Xfinity driver sitting here with us tonight. So I might send him down to go visit you and maybe share some tips to each other.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll be down with that. Send him right over.
All right.
His name will be Matt Waltz, by the way. He's driving the number 70 car.
Yeah, for Derek Cook.
Okay, well, awesome. Looking forward to meeting you and racing with you.
Yeah, man, sounds good.
All right, Joey, give us a quick bio about your racing career, and then we'll step into some more stuff.
All right, well, I started racing go-karts at the age of 8 and started racing modifieds at the age of 14, and the next year moved up to late models and won the track championship, and then got in from development teams and started racing the Xfinity Series at the age of 18, and been doing it full-time now and this will be my second year full-time.
Cool. Now, I understand you've got some stuff going on with a GoFundMe. You got something going down at Charlotte. Why don't you go ahead and give us a little info about that?
Okay, yeah, we'll be teaming up with ndrmotorsports.org in Charlotte for the October race coming up, and we're going to try to raise some money for two awesome charities, the American Cancer Society and St. Jude's Children's Hospital, and we're getting a lot of people involved, and it's going to be really cool. They'll be on the hood of the car, and for donations from anything from $25 and up, people can have their name on the car, or their picture, or put their loved ones' pictures and honor others. And we're also getting small businesses involved. So it's going to be a really cool deal, and I don't think there's been a lot of people out there that done this like we have.
Cool. So Mary Dixon's been helping you out with that, I take it.
That's right. Yeah, Mary has been working very close with us, and I just really would like everyone to get involved if they like, and go check it out. They can find it on my Facebook page or go to ndrmotorsports.org and check it out for themselves.
Cool.
All right, hey Joey, this is Colin Brown, local legend car driver in Virginia. Growing up in Iowa, there may have been other forms of racing more popular than NASCAR. What led you to pursue a career in NASCAR?
NASCAR is definitely very popular in Iowa, but it's something I always watched growing up, and my dad raced before I did, but just at the local level, and it was just racing was something I always wanted to do ever since I was a little kid, and NASCAR was one of them. And Kenny Schrader raced at our local track at Hawkeye Downs about once every year back in the day, and he was the first, I guess, famous race car driver I ever met, and I kind of always wanted to follow in his footsteps a little bit, and I really admired how he didn't matter if he was racing in the Cup Series or somewhere on a Wednesday night on a local track. All he wanted to do was race, and that's something I want to do.
So, how would you rate your Xfinity season so far, and what areas do you feel that your team needs to improve on, and what are some personal improvements you could make as well?
I think our season's been decent overall. We got fifth in Talladega, and that was really big for our team for how small we are. I don't think anyone ever expected that out of us, and we proved a lot of people wrong. Our goal for the end of the year is to be top 30 in owners and top 20 in drivers, and right now we're tied for 29th in owner points and 21st in drivers, and hopefully we can get in top 20 in drivers. We were able to pull it off last year, but this year the competition's up a little bit, and I think this year we're doing definitely a lot better than we were last year. Just the competition is just that much harder. So I think we can get it done, and I think we just need to improve on being more consistent. As the month of August was kind of hard on us in July, just getting to the end of races without the car breaking down, but I think we've turned that around now, and we've been doing good on that the last couple of races, and hopefully we can get some more top 25s here at the end of the year.
Cool. Well, one of the people online wanted to know, was Iowa the only place you were racing at when you started out, or did you go to Minnesota and race over there? And also, what was your favorite track growing up?
When I started racing go-karts, it was mainly in Iowa, but at the end of go-karts, my final year, I traveled all around the Midwest, and the farthest I ever went, I believe, was Indiana to the east, and then I went down for the Chili Bowl down in Tulsa, Oklahoma. And in late models and stuff like that, there's a lot in Iowa and Wisconsin and Missouri. And then when I went on the development team, there's a lot out east in the Carolinas.
Are you doing double duty this weekend or just the Xfinity?
This weekend will just be Xfinity, but later in the year I will be making some more Cup starts, I believe. We just haven't announced those yet.
Well, we won't tell anybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll just hold off a little bit, I think, until we announce it.
Hey Joey, this is Al Pearce with Autoweek. I've got a very important question. This is going to impact my life for the next month or so, so you got to come up with a good answer. I got into a discussion last night with my wife, and she was trying to convince me that young people go into racing because they can legally, this is a true story now, I'm not kidding you. My wife thinks that young people get into racing because you can legally run as fast as you possibly can. I told her that young people get into racing because they enjoy the competition. And by an example, I said to her, if you gave a driver a stock car and let him go to Talladega, and he could run 500 miles by himself as fast as he wanted to, it wouldn't be a lot of fun. When you put 42 other guys out there, it becomes a lot of fun. Is it true that absolute speed is not one of the main reasons you got into racing?
Yeah, I would say it's definitely more for the competition and something that's in your blood. It's not just the speed's something that's important, and I think race car drivers kind of like to brag about how fast they've gone, but it's definitely not the most important thing. It's the competition and being able to compete against one another and hopefully beat the guy you're racing against. But it's definitely, I would say, more of a competition. And I think Mark Martin, I remember, has been interviewed and asked about that, and that's also what he said. It doesn't really matter what the Pearce is or anything like that. When you're outside the car, you may say one thing, but once you put that helmet on and get on the track, you can be maybe racing for a trophy or $1 million. But either way, you're going to be racing really, really hard, and no matter what, you want to get that win.
Thank you. That's exact. I won that argument with my wife.
You probably still won't win it. She'll probably say no.
No. She'll believe. If I could, if I could get somebody that races to convince her that.
There you
if
go.
I'd known these guys are going to be here tonight, I'd brought them with me. But I told her, I said, it's not. I mean, they can go fast by themselves at a racetrack anytime they want to, but it's no fun unless somebody's there trying to go faster than you are. So
yeah, that's right.
Good. All right.
It's like doing a driving experience. You go around, you run a few laps, then you're done with it. But there's nobody to compete against, so the thrill's gone.
That's one for me.
That's one for you.
And about 1,000 for her.
Okay.
We'll take that to the bank.
There you go. I know we got another question brewing back there. I think Dad's trying to talk to Colin about what to ask you.
So, hey Joey, it's Colin again. So, talk about your charity work and the promotion of organ donation and what that means to you.
Donate Life is something that's really close to my heart, and through the Donate Life brand, we promote organ and tissue donation. And it's something, unfortunately, a lot of people don't think about enough. And my mom, when she passed away in April of 2011 of sudden brain aneurysm. And when that happened, the doctors asked us if she'd like to be an organ and tissue donor. And at that time, we didn't really know a lot about donations besides when you go to the DMV, it's just a quick yes or no question. But we knew if my mom could no longer continue her life, she would want to do whatever she could to help others continue theirs. So we said yes, and later we found out she was able to help save and improve the lives of 66 people. We've been fortunate enough to actually meet two of her recipients and be able to see firsthand how changed their life and how painful they were and how beautiful they were. But it's something I really want to promote and hopefully promote so people that are in a situation like my family was, and hopefully there'll be more fair. And I really try to encourage people to look into donations to find what people think about is
Hey Joey, where are you at? Because you're breaking up real bad. You want to try hanging up and calling back in, see if you get a better connection? Because all of a sudden you just started dropping out every other word. Yeah, just go ahead and do a quick call back and we'll finish you up.
Might want to have him finish his thought about that.
And
we got the beginning of the story about his mother, but then
that's the sad part, is it started breaking up real bad. Let's try again, Joey. You there, Joey?
Hanging up.
Well, Roger, let me ask you a question since you know everything.
Uh-oh.
What precipitated, that means what brought upon us,
Yeah.
the chase?
What brought the chase?
What was the thing that convinced NASCAR?
Who, the exact thing that convinced them? I would ask my Mr. Historian, it would be you for that answer.
I can tell you.
Well, I know the answer. I just wonder whether you know it.
Because I know that
When Kenseth ran away with the championship the one year, I guess, and then was it? I can't remember if it was after Johnson had won a championship. And no,
yeah,
Kenseth didn't run away with it. He only won one race that year, and he won Las Vegas early in the year, like the third race, and then he went like 33 more, and just finished 6, 5, 3, 11. You know,
it was consistently top 10, but
the top 5 or 6 most of the time.
Yeah.
However, here's what you don't understand. In the 10 years before that, half of the champions were decided before the last race.
Yep.
5 of the 10 were decided before they even got to Atlanta in some cases, and they used to end the season. They ended it at New Hampshire one year. But anyway, if you don't believe it,
I trust you.
you can read it right here in my Autoweek story.
Are you pumping your story there for us,
No,
Al?
I'm
I wonder
just telling you.
I wonder if the sponsor change had something to do with it. You know, maybe the new sponsor.
Well, now it was the
Didn't
first
happen.
year for Winston. It was the last year for Winston. So that when NASCAR said, "Okay, Winston's leaving. We got a new sponsor coming in, Nextel, and let's change the format while we're at it. We'll do one big change at one time."
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
But I also think TV had a lot to do with it.
yeah, well, the end of the season, they're competing with a lot of sports.
Football,
So baseball's
baseball.
winding down, football's starting up.
Yep.
So if there's no reason to tune in at the end of the year to a race, then
Basketball started.
yeah. So you had to give people a reason to tune in to the race.
Did it even ring any? You still there, Joey?
Still terrible.
Yeah, we even tried a different phone line and phone system, and yeah, your cell phone's just breaking up real bad.
Okay, I apologize. Thanks for having me on, and hopefully we can get sometime.
All right, well, make sure we stop by and say hi this weekend to you.
Okay, sounds very good. Details, but don't get away from Virginia 52 car.
All right, be
Thank
safe.
you.
We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
One thing I would have asked you if I'd had him on the line long enough, why is it that Iowa, a little podunk state in the middle of nowhere, why is
You would
Iowa
insult the
so
state
important?
first before you ask the question.
Why is Iowa so important in determining presidential candidates?
Ooh,
Iowa and New Hampshire,
I used
two
to.
dumbass states where nobody lives.
I think it's is it something to do with the Republican stuff, or
No,
they all go through
They've
that.
all got to go there.
No, they all do the Iowa primary, New
God,
Hampshire.
they think it's like important.
We should just leave it.
Maybe they think that's middle America, you know.
Yeah,
and-
but America's
Yeah,
not
they
middle
are-
America.
they are.
America's the outside.
the outside.
All right, Roger, let's go eat.
I know that's exactly what you was going to be saying.
Gotta sign off.
Yep, we're going to have to sign off. I would like to give a shout out to Matt Waltz and thank him.
You'd like to?
I knew you were going to do that. That's why I said that. I even stopped to do it. We appreciate Matt being out here with us tonight.
Yeah, thank y'all for having me. No,
Yep.
I appreciate it.
It's always nice to have some of our local guys getting to go up and racing out there. If you talk to any with the Edwards boys, see if they give you any insight either being out there. I know it's been a while since they've been out there on the track.
No, I haven't really. No, I haven't talked to them or anything.
Since you're beating them, I reckon you figure you don't need to ask them anything anyway, right?
No, I mean, they've been whooping butt at Langley this year. Yeah. They've won, I don't know, how many, about 6 apiece or something like that.
They've been doing pretty good on it.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, we're going to get out of here, go grab us a bite to eat, and we'll catch everybody next week on Let's Talk Racing.